Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's 9 o'clock. Thanks for joining us on this show this day. And we're going to have quite a chilled out night tonight because Michael, my co-host, is in Cornwall. It's a bit like the old Ronnie Corbett show, this, isn't it? Remember when he used to sit in his chair and the old light used to pop down him? I'm getting an old fossil as well now, and it's not that I've got any Pringle checkered jumpers on. Maybe I should get a few. Michael's in Cornwall having a very nice time, relaxing break with his partner. And I've shared the link in the chat room. We're not going out on Facebook at the moment because the profile that I do use on Facebook, which has got a lot of people on it, is Mike Morning. I'm not going there. Anyway, I can't log into it at the moment. Facebook have decided to shunt me out of that, which they did do in 2016 with a profile that I had 16,000 people on. 16,000 people, that's almost as much as the British Army, Majesty. Majesty, yes, it is almost as many as the British Army. And yes, all the schools in Balmoral are shut as of tomorrow. And it's not because the Queen has passed. No, it's because Prince Andrew is in town, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, he is in town. So all the schools up there in Balmoral, they say, hey, look at your daughters. Look at your daughters. He's coming up there. Andy's on his way. So he is. He's come for his pottage and his spotting. Anyway, yeah, look, so whatever happens with the Queen, I don't know. I'm not even going to talk about it because I live in a country, England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, beautiful place. No one in the world has ever been here. We're nice people. Generally, we are nice people. The people are very nice. We're quite nice people. It's only the system that we're all kicking off about in many, many, many ways, guys. We're all kicking off about the system, whether it be they've come and kicked your front door in, whether they've come and taken out your gas and electric meters and left you like little Oliver Twist there. With nothing, just and you're going down to the pound shop now to buy your candles, so that's why I can't get too emotionally involved with the royal family. Now, if you'd have asked me this when I was a teenager or 11 or 12, 13 years old, I never really had much time for them back then. I did meet the Queen very briefly and Charles in Deptford years ago. Our school. The school I went to, secondary school, Haberdasher Aske's in New Cross. We went there and they said, we're putting a thing on for the Queen. And as they walked past and they stopped and spoke with a few of us, my mind was, even as such a young lad, I'm thinking, they're just men and women. They're all right, yeah, there's all this pomp and pageantry and all this, the Queen. And I'm like, I don't see it and I never have. Now, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. Know thyself. I've always thought we're all men and women, and look, if she just left a legacy where the country was tip-top condition, our roads were perfectly smooth, our kids weren't being shagged by social services, and the energy companies weren't raping your bank accounts, and we was all a jubilant people, and we was all together, and we was all happy, I'd be probably very, very upset. But because we're not, I'm not, and I'm not even going to talk about it tonight. We know, there are people out there saying that she passed quite some time ago, and that we've had people standing in and they released these times and dates on things. I'm not even going into that. I can't be bothered with any of that no more. What I'm trying to focus on at the moment is getting people across the line, getting you back to Dominion, getting your lives back in order. And like I say, if we was a fabulous country and everyone was having nice times, and look, everything that we're doing to get a level in the system, to me it's like a Hunger Games. It's like we're living in a Hunger Games situation. And Klaus Schwab, yes, there's Klaus Schwab, and what is your kid doing out without the masks on? Yeah, and to me, I'm thinking, fucking hell, he just needs to do the old jackboot walk, and we'd be back in 1936. And they're saying, lots of people I've got no time for the Klaus Schwabs of this world. I've got no time for all these so-called ruling elite ruling over us. because no one's supposed to be ruling over anybody. That's the thing. Yeah, I'm not a libertarian, because liberty, the word liberty is a grant. It's a gift from a government, from a state. No, freedom is freedom. I love freedom, people. My whole life, I've had this ethos. Like, even when my mum and dad, I just come off the nipple and I'm out. I'm out in the streets playing with my mates, climbing. I've just always had this overwhelming feeling to be free. And I just naturally assume that everybody else has the same feelings that run through them. So when you got people with this so-called crown kicking your doors in and that, they've lied to you along the way. They've tricked you. They've deceived you into contracts that you don't know nothing about. And I've never ever done that in my life. Honestly, I've never done it in my life. I've had a few bits and bobs along the ways that hasn't always gone to plan. I've had a few jobs that haven't gone to plan, but not many. You could count them on less than 1%. And I've always tried to please people. I've always tried to leave their homes, and so that they're in high spirits and they've got a top quality job. I just can't deceive. I hate deception. I hate the deceiving of people and stealing from people by deceptive ways. And that's what this system does. The devil, they tell it's the law. It's not the law. It's a colour of law. It's not the law. And we're all bashed over the head. We seem to think that our freedoms come from, well, we can pay for an insurance. We can pay for a car insurance. We can pay to get on a ferry. Look, that's not freedom, guys. And I'm sorry it's just not freedom. So that's why I can't really get too involved with the monarchy and talk too much about that tonight, because I'm not overly interested. I'm really not. Peace, Love, Truth says 13 bloodline families, crown passed. All I know is that in the scripture it says judgment is reserved for me, and that's God. He says judgment is reserved for me only, and that's it. Now, what we're doing at the moment, many of you, I don't know whether you know, we're going through a process. I'm going through a process that a Canadian man has gone through. And now this Canadian man's actually he's leveled the playing field. He's got his life in order. He's actually got back to Dominion. And Dominion means freedom. Dominion means no rulers. It means that there isn't a man or woman in a government that can come and levy you and take stuff off you and deceive you and nick your kids. And that's what this man's done, and he's managed to do it over years. But how he's managed to do it is he's not lent into his own thinking. He's not been classed as a conspiracy theorist, but he's actually applied the system and the law within the system. And he's done what he's got to do. Now, I'm in some groups with this, and it's all to do with a website called successors.ca, SUCCESSORS. And it's teaching you about the relationship of everyone screams birth certificate. And luckily I've got one to hand here, one of these things with a birth certificate, which has all got your name over it, and it's all in boxes, and everyone screams and leaps about and goes mad over it. But basically all this is your inclusion into a society. That's all it is. That's the only, because it says this is not proof of ID, and it's absolutely correct. It is proof, and it's a receipt for the fact that you are part of a society, a group of people. Well, I wasn't, and this is where so many of us are waking up there. So many. So this, which is just about to go in the post this week, funnily enough, has a copy at the back of the certified copy of an entry. And basically, this is to the Attorney General of England. And I'm putting this out here for public notice as well, because this is going in the post. And if the Attorney General fails to respond and don't do what I'm asking, then I will go to the Small Claims Court and take a case against the Attorney General in the Small Claims Court, because that's where people are having quite good results now. Now, we have the absolute right to rescind and say, no, thank you. No, thank you, because that's not a right that it's an inherent right. You have an inherent right to say, cool, this is getting a bit stinky, I'm pulling out. You know, it's like, lads, if you actually, no, I'm not going to use that. I was going to say, if you've been with a girlfriend and you think, oh, after a while, I'm not too sure. You rescind. We rescind from these relationships, don't we? If you got a friend and the friend, you're having a lovely time, and then a few years later that friend gets a bit toxic, you're thinking to yourself, well, I'm not enjoying this. I'm going to pull away. I'll call you. I'll call you. And that's the same thing with this system. It should be with consent. It should be set up that you want to be part of it, and that you're not getting a benefit from it, because benefit is, how are you benefiting it? You're not benefiting from anything. We all come into this world just to get on, guys. We come into this world to have a nice life and a good time, not to go through the things that we're going through. Really, really, really not. So I'm changing my name, Deepan Christian. That really, look, when you get your head around all this, that the law's already been established and settled, and you use the Settled Land Act, of 1925, and you're using some other bits, law of property, because what it says is you can only have property in possession. You can't never own anything, guys and girls. I don't know if this is the first time you tune in, but you can't. You say, oh, that's my house, I own the house. You think you do, you don't, because you can never own anything, can you? Let's be honest, because when they put you in that little box or that little casket and they place you under a tree, or you go in a big 6-foot hole, you're not taking none of this with you. That's the thing. This physical and material realm that we're in, we're not taking none of it with us. And I don't know. I just come into this world. I don't know. I'm not wise. I'm not stupid. I feel things, and I think, should we all be living like this? Should we all now be coming into a winter period where men and women up and down this country are going to have to go through all their life savings and go and rob a few bank or two just to pay these energy companies? And of course, the new prime monster. Have you seen the new Minister for Health, guys and girls? Have you seen it? Have you smoking a big cigar? Minister for Health. Now, when Liz Truss said, I'm going to employ a new Minister of Health, I'm thinking she might be employing Sebastian Coe or Daley Thompson or Fatima Whitbread. Someone's been physical, that's, worked in that industry of health and fitness and dietitian and all that. But what rocks up is a wine slugging. I'm not knocking that. If that's your thing, fabulous. Not knock yourself out. But you should be the minister for drinking and pizzas and all that. You should not be the Minister for Health. A Minister for Health should be working out, should be having a diet plan, should be having all their health on point. And then you look up to him and go, oh, look how good that one looks. Yeah, he's Minister for Health. Yeah, we'll have a bit of him. We'll follow him. Maybe that Joe guy, that Joe, he come on the scene, didn't he? Joe, what's his name? Does all the fabulous meals. He does the fitness. Joe, you guys know, what's his name? Have him as a Minister for Health. Joe W something. Joe, oh, come on, sing the theme tune. Joe Squash. No, not Joe Squash. No, not Joe Squash. You get it anyway. But Joe Wicks, that's it, Joe Wicks. Have him as a Minister for Health, but not this thing they've got in. And look, people have said to me today, we're so lucky we've got a new Prime Minister. I'm like, guys, you just, come on, it's time to stop flogging a dead horse, man. It's time to realise that not is all as it seems. Need a chat, bro, about changing meters? I got fuse and parts, have you, mate? Oh, bless your heart. Yeah, I mean, if you're being left alone, I'd leave that. I'd probably go down the paper trail with them. How would I approach energy? We know it. I've had them in my house. I'm not going to be fucked over by these energy companies. How dare they? Especially when we know that the actual supplier of electricity for the area, the actual national grid, only gets 2% of what energy companies is. They're having a field day. It's a proper swindle. It's like a mafia. It's like a cartel, and everyone in this country is bending over and taking it. And I can't stand it. I can't stand it where the people get fleeced and they can't see how they're being fleeced, and they don't know what to do about it. That's what bothers me. When you're being fleeced, you should have an education where you know half how to deal with things, that you can say, actually, no, I'm not having with that. I'm going to go to this. I'm going to go to that because this is a monopoly now. You know, look, you're seeing the richer, they're getting richer. You're seeing the poor getting poorer. And we see all these politicians smacking their lips, don't they? Smacking their lips. That's all they're doing. They're just smacking their lips. But actually, whatever changes, ever changes, social services are still out there robbing kids. Energy companies are still running amok. Bailiffs are still coming in and kicking people's doors in with the aiding and abetting of the police. Unbelievable. And that's why I can't have any compassion for the royal family. I'm sorry. I'm not having an opinion on whether the death is a good thing or a bad thing. I couldn't care less. I really couldn't. Like I say, if this country was fabulous and if we was all having a beautiful, lovely time, and the monarchy and the people were in harmony and everything was coming together and we was all having uber times. It was all every day laughing and joking like a joke. And I would probably get upset over that loss, but not the way the people are being treated right now. And the good thing about, not a good thing, death is never a good thing, but what's happening that we're seeing around the country now. Now, I know a lot of people and a lot of friends of mine are what they call, you'd call them truthers. If you've been in a boozer and you're at the bar and your mate says, do you want a brew at the end of the week? And you say, oh, if you'd have said 5 years ago, well, here he comes. Oh, not that truther. Come on, let's go and take it. But now they're not doing that. They're like, we'll have a chat with him, and they're paying attention and they're listening. It's really, really, really good. I'm going to put this one out there. So if any of you have got anybody in your families that have got illness, disease, any tumours, anything like that, we have in this country a beautiful, beautiful group of people called farmers. Now, we know the farmers have become lazy cunts and they're all sat on their asses being paid by the EU to do fuck all. But nonetheless, there's still quite a few farmers out there that are prepared to get out of bed in the morning and go and rock it and pull a few cows' tits so that you can have your daily bread. Now, we have a lot of sheep in this country. Now, in Wales, people are very dubious. If you see a sheep tied to a lamppost, they call it a leisure centre. But sheep, they dip them every year in this stuff to kill all the bugs and bacteria. And they give them this stuff. They pour it into their mouth. And it's called Vectin. And it's just the same as ivermectin. And ladies and gentlemen, there is no C, the disease with the C, the big C, in the sheep world. None at all. There's not a sheep up and down the country. Some of them are getting sexually violated by young whippersnappers that think it's okay to go and do these sort of things to animals. But actually, there's no C in these animals because they take Vectin. So Vectin you can buy. Panacur, which is another dog thing. Lots of people I know have been taking Panacur and seeing these things clear up in their body. And ivermectin and Vectin are very, very similar. So if you know anybody that's not very well, you can buy these things so cheaply. Now, guys and girls, I don't know whether you're aware, but a bag of chemotherapy, which is mustard gas, is thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds. And it's just a little bag of fluid. And you get all these bright sparks. Oh, well, it's the research, darling. And it's all the time that they spend in labs doing all these things. No, it's nonsense. It's just a fleecing. It's just a perpetual debt. Now, I see this world and us as a people as a hamster wheel. Yeah? Do you remember the Katie video, Perry, a few years ago where living in suburbia, I can't think what the song was called, and there was this big ride that people were getting on and the arm was swinging and it was throwing them out the park and it was saying, enjoy your trip home. Now, there's very subliminal messages and there's this big wheel that people getting on and they're running and they keep falling over. But Katy Perry gets on it in the end and runs and actually stops it. And as she stops it, she stood there very valiantly with her arms crossed, poking her chest out any further than she can already get it. And she stopped the hamster wheel. And that's exactly what this country is. We're on a hamster wheel. Some of you can see it, some of you can't. You know, I'm trying to get off. Where can I buy these ingredients? Just search the internet, Vectin or ivermectin. Trust me, it's fabulous. It kills all bacteria and bugs. And that's what the C is. It's a parasite. Gets into your blood. No C in sheep. And sheep get Vectin. They have a suck on Vectin. I think they put Vectin in their mouth. Let's find it. And we can share the screen. They put Vectin in the sheep once or twice a year. And there is no big C in the sheep fraternity. Now, I'm just doing a quick search. Right, I'll show you. This isn't me giving anybody any medical advice. I'm just saying, I'm just sharing stories. This is for education and information and entertainment only. All right. And this is fair use. That's all I'm saying. Just fair use. This is what freedom of speech is all about, people. Freedom of speech is all about this. So here you go. So this is, they use this for sheep and they use this for horses. It's called Vectin. Okay. And the other one you can get is ivermectin. So let's have a little look at ivermectin. So, and it says here, Wonder Drug from Japan, ivermectin, the COVID-19 treatment. So yeah, you can go and get these things, and look, they're in the scheme of things, they're just pennies. They don't cost a lot. So there you go. I choose eat. Yeah, thank you. I will do tomorrow. Victoria Kesterton, God bless you, darling. You're more than welcome. 5 years ago, they put it up by 12%. Electricity. Look, guys, I can't tell you, right? I can't tell you, and I wouldn't know, but I know it goes on. The amount of people in this country that perish every year because they go without certain things. They would rather sit in their flat, freezing their proverbials off, than put their boilers on. So, and they're in that age group where they're on pensions, and we know it's like a communistic dictate system, and they perish, and no one cares. The family might care, shed a few tears, but then they, you know, we all forget about our loved ones. I'm being honest, guys. We don't forget about them, but we bury them, and then a year or two later, we're cracking on as we've got this cognitive dissonance, you know. Santos Bonacci took dog dewormer. The animals have it better than us. Yeah, there you go. Well, Santos is not a silly man. Santos, I used to have a few chats with Santos. So anyway, let's get back to this. So this is going out. This is a 7-page thing. It's a cover letter, and it's an urgent matter, and it's an issue. It's to convey release, and it says confirming release of the beneficial interest, terminating all of the rights, duties, and actions as usufruct to the SESKV, fulfilling the condition precedent to have the entitlement of dominion returned as settler to the contingent right as one who intended to exercise the power under the Settled Land Act to terminate the settlement not subject to a trust. Wow. It says here, I'm notifying you of my choice to no longer actively act as beneficiary to the SESKV Trust, uniting the defeasible estate of freehold with the birthright as donor settler to the dominion interests held in trust. If you want a copy of this, I can I can furnish you with that information. I'll put my email up so you can email me at my Proton. Let me just put that down in here. Look, I don't even know what I'm in the world for, but we're in the world nonetheless. And my aim is to help free people and just bring back dominion. I don't want to live in this country where we have people of the system thinking they own us. thinking they can just take us into their buildings and beat us up and kill us and rob. Now, you know, people might think that's a bit far-fetched, but these things happen. These things happen, and it's disgraceful. It's disgusting that we have men in uniform in uniform that are in a trusted position that abuse us and do all sorts. You know, we've got a truther, Tinky Bell, and she got taken into a police station the other month, and 8 individuals held her down, stripped her naked, and fingered every of her orifice, looking for whatever they're looking for. I don't know if they're looking for the kitchen sink or maybe a pair of nunchuckers. I don't know what they think they're going to find in these places. These places, a lady's lady garden should be her own private affair. Yes, it should. Carlos the Pureblood. Hello, Carlos. Let me put that up. So anyone wants a copy of this, drop me an email at my Proton. And the next time I'm in my Proton account, I will send you over this this thing. And of course, this website called Successors. Now, what we've been trying to do all over the years is we've all been leaning into our own interpretation. We've all been researching and studying, but we failed to realize one thing. We failed to realize that the rules of the game have already been established, and that it only requires one to become into that knowledge. And the original trust document is this, by the way. It is this, and it's not religious. It's not whatever. I'm not a hippie. I'm not going out doing Krishna dances and worshipping Buddhas and all that and false idols. I'm not interested in all that. But that's the original trust document, okay? And that's it. When you let them know that I stand by the original trust document, they got a problem, because in Deuteronomy it says, "Let the law of the Lord speak wholly for me." And the Queen herself, the monarchy, is the trustee for all legal matters. It's called Fide Commission. She is the trustee for all legal matters. Witchery. Hello, Kenneth. How are you, darling? Oh, Kenneth, darling. Yes, darling. Nice to see you. So we've almost done half hour already. Did it go quick, guys, on this Thursday night, didn't it? I'm missing me, Michael, but I thought tonight, we'll try and cover some stuff that's going to help you free yourself. Now, the Settled Land Act is, I can actually play this. I'm going to play this for you, and then you can pick the bones out of this yourself. All right, I'm going to screen share again. All this is for fair use, education, and entertainment only, as you well know. Oh, actually, I don't know if you can see me yet. Can you see me? Can you see me? Not quite yet, you can't. Right, so here we go. So just watch this.
Prohibition or limitation against exercise of powers void, and provision against forfeiture. 1. If in a settlement, will, assurance, or other instrument executed or made before or after, or partly before and partly after, the commencement of this act a provision is inserted. A. Purporting or attempting, by way of direction, declaration, or otherwise, to forbid a tenant for life or statutory owner to exercise any power under this act, or his right to require the settled land to be vested in him, or B. Attempting, or tending, or intended, by a limitation, gift, or disposition over of settled land, or by a limitation, gift, or disposition of other real or any personal property, or by the imposition of any condition, or by forfeiture, or in any other manner whatever, to prohibit or prevent him from exercising, or to induce him to abstain from exercising, or to put him into a position inconsistent with his exercising any power under this act, or his right to require the settled land to be vested in him.
Right, I'm just going to pause that there. Are we listening to what that just said, right? It's talking about you being put into any imposition of any condition or by forfeiture or in any other manner whatsoever to prohibit or prevent him from exercising or to induce him to abstain from exercising or to put him into a position inconsistent with him exercising any power under the Act or his right to require the Settled Land Act to be vested in him. This is so powerful. This Section 106 of the Settled Land Act, okay, of 1925, is saying that once you make a declaration, you become the declarant, and you're requiring that you have the right to have the settled land to be vested back into you, then they have an obligation to do that.
That provision, as far as it purports, or attempts, or tends, or is intended to have, or would or might have, the operation aforesaid, shall be deemed to be void. 2. For the purposes of this section, an estate or interest limited to continue so long only as a person abstains from exercising any such power or right as aforesaid shall be and take effect as an estate or interest to continue for the period for which it would continue if that person were to abstain from exercising the power or right, discharged from liability to determination or cessor by or on his exercising the same. 3. Notwithstanding anything in a settlement, the exercise by the tenant for life or statutory owner of any power under this act shall not occasion a forfeiture.
Right. So this website, let me tell you guys, it's successors.ca. Learn the powerful secret, self-determination under natural law, never lose your rights again, learn the laws that are hidden and keeping you subject to a secret land trust created at birth. It says here, ignorance is no excuse. It's the finest. It's just great. It really, really, really is great. And the thing is, we're using established laws. We're using superior laws that they can't wriggle out of, because it binds them. It binds these people, these acts, these so-called acts that these politicians put through are basically to limit them, not to come and kick our doors in and steal our children. Even in the Bill of Rights 1688-89, after the William and Mary took the throne after the Great Revolution, there was no bloodshed. Basically, the king at the time fled. I think it was James I. He fled the country, and William and Mary took over. But it says in the Bill of Rights, absolutely expressed, that the crown may do no prejudice to the people, and that the people must remain the font of power. We, the people, are supposed to be the powerful beings. And maybe, just maybe, this is why I'm like what I'm like in my life, because I've seen so much go on, and I stand and I think that shouldn't be happening. We shouldn't be living like this. We should all be happy. We should all be chilled out. We should all be having a nice time. We should all be safe in the comfort of our living room, knowing that no man or woman in a uniform can come in and use the anal beads and get all medieval on us. Not unless they've got proper lawful excuse, like you've raped, murdered, or pillaged, or done something like that. But now, oh my days. So I personally think the only option we have is to return to sender, to give them all their stuff back and say, I'm surrendering this to you. You have this interest, man. Let's switch the game up, because they seem to be thinking that they can operate all of our estates and our, say, equity. It's a split thing. The Queen is in charge of one part of it. The monarchy's got to do with something. This is how the split title, and the government are only supposed to be working the equity. But see, the government can't own any land. They only have it in usages. That's all that was ever granted to these people was usage. They're not supposed to be charging us a fee to have a hat. They're not supposed. It's given to them in usage only. And very interestingly, going through the Successors program and being part of the Discord group, someone shared a post the other night, and it was kind of a historical document. And it said that back in the 16th century or the 15th century, money would become so valueless and there was so little of it around that people focused on the morality and the decency and niceness of how things should be. And I'd like to see that again in many ways. I really would, because whilst we're all sat at home watching the flat screens and making fortunes, and, you know, if you're lucky enough to have a Ferrari in the garage and that, you might have all these things, but you've been lied to because the system has set you up to fail. And I don't like that. I don't want to live in a country where I know that the politicians and the estates, the people that are up there are setting us up to fail. I don't like that. I think it's got to stop. And do you know what? I think many people that work in the system now are starting to see this. I think they're starting to see that maybe we've gone a little bit too far. Who knows? I don't know. I asked who the complaint. I ask who the complaint is. Claimant every time. Yes, Mick. Trouble is, they don't take no notice of all that. Let me see if I can find. No, I can't, because I'll have to go back onto Discord. But this successors site. Wow, man! And he says, once you let these people know that you are natural in nature and that you're an individual, and you put them on notice, they have to play a different ball game, because they can't harm what is natural. They just can't. I mean, I'm sick of what goes on. Now she's passed full steam ahead for a cashless society. Who knows, June? Who knows? I know that people are really starting to get a buzz for this. They're really starting to feel what's going on, and they're paying attention. For even my mother and father, they're really starting to get it now. People I'm talking to, they're getting more of their friends that just admonished them a few years ago now saying, can we have a chat? And that's, look, let's encourage that. Let's encourage it. I want everyone to wake up. I want everyone to come back to greatness. Greatness should be, look, we're all souls and spirits, guys. We're not commercial entities. They are harming the soul and the spirits of this country. People might say, well, how are you going to pay for things, Dave? How's this going to happen? It's very simple. We go back to previous times in history. Nothing new under the sun. This isn't rocket science. You go back to a time period where business, high streets, industry paid for the running of a country. Used to happen. That's what used to happen. It was how it used to be. In America in the 1920s, the schools was open, the streets were lit, the roads were clean and tidy. Nobody in their private capacity, no men and women, no husbands and wives with their children on their little farmstead or living in New York City were ever being bothered and mithered by government. Government was small. A bit like Ronnie Corbett's Willie. Very small. Did I say that out loud? I did. It came into my head. Very small. Government was very small. But now it's this big appendage, isn't it? And it's always looming over the top of you, casting its little shadow. You know, when you get that, oh, look at the size of that shadow. And this is, they want to put you in fear all the time. Oh, they're going to come and pay you. They ain't paid your TV. Like, oh, they're going to come round. Oh, they're going to pay you. Who's coming round? The Gestapo? The SS? Which one of them wants to pop in for a cup of tea? I think it's pathetic that we've allowed this to happen. And I'm hoping that you're all sufficiently now talking to all your friends, your neighbours, your loved ones. Guys, listen, I was on the phone the other night. My missus phoned her dad up, and lovely dude, lovely, one of the nicest men you'll ever meet. Really nice, proper, lovely family, just lovely, lovely family. And he said to me, oh, how's your mate getting on with these free energy devices and all that? And I'm like, well, yeah, we're getting there. And he was very interested. He said, well, we don't know how we're going to get through all this. He said, they're taking the mickey out of us. And I thought, wow. Now they're coming. See, back in the German time period, when the Germans, the unification of the National Socialist Party, they went after a group of people, and because no one above them or no one that was it spoke out, then they come for them. And then because they didn't speak out, then they come for them. And then them at the top, no one come to help them because these lot had already gone already. Now, we're polite people. We like to say please. We like to say thank you. We like to respect authority. We've been taught this from a kid, from your mother and father chastising you all the way through to, well, if you see a copper on the street, you best do as you're told. Well, hang on a minute. That's fine and fabulous. If these people are whiter than white, if they're wearing the white Daz doorstep challenge, if they're white and white and they're cleaner and they're godly people, yeah, no problem. You listen to them. But when they're actively involved in the skullduggery they're involved in, I say all bets are off. I say they've become so corrupt. And this is what happens with power. Power tends to corrupt. And here we go. We're right at that pinnacle moment now where they can just print off a warrant tonight. They can come round your house, drag you off to the cell, smash all your doors in on your house and walk away and leave you to deal with it and fucking laugh at you. These are the people that are doing this. And they're not coming from abroad. They're from our families, of our people in our country. Make no mistake about it. The police, when they come and do this, they don't land from Mars. They're not coming from Venus. They're not coming from Uranus. Well, some of them might be. These are homegrown people with this mentality. Well, we can go around and do what the fuck we like because we're weaponized, we're penalized, we've got this authority. Well, maybe they haven't. Maybe, just maybe, they haven't. Because, as you well know, Robert White versus the Queen a few months ago taught Kent Police a very hard lesson. And who was it that taught Kent Police the hard lesson? Was it the judge? No. Was it the sheriff of Kent? No. It was the jury of the people that said, you shouldn't be doing that. Just on a thread we are, just on a thread. Do we still have this ability in this country to hold these people accountable? It's a very powerful thing. And we know that judges try and influence juries and give them the law, but they shouldn't be, because the jury should be making their own decisions without any inference or interference. If a rapist stands up in front of a jury, he should be examined and cross-examined. And then the jury should be left alone to deliberate, to come up with a verdict on the individual's fate. They shouldn't have a judge from the bench saying, oh, this is the law, this is the law, this is the law. No, leave them people to go away, because the common law is in the hearts and minds of the men of the nation. Leave them alone. Let them come up with their own deliberations. And that's it. Final. That's a proper jury trial. Because you don't know whether a judge is giving them an aspect of the law which might suit one outcome. A jury should never be nobbled, especially by a judge. The judge should have his lips tied. The judge is there he should be there as an administrator. He should be there placed in this pillar of a community, which we call whatever, and he should be unbiased. He should have no financial interest. He should just be there for the will of the people. That's it. But now we're seeing all of our courts have got nothing to do with law. It's all about money. It's all about business. Your magistrates' courts with council tax. We now know it that, and I can play you these videos, but the thing that frustrates me the most is that when you play these things to your friends, your families that are still so deeply entrenched in this system, they won't even give it the time of day. You can say, well, Liz Truss has just turned around and said that she was so enamored when Jim will fix it, Jimmy Savile passed away, and that she used to enjoy it and she misses him deeply, and she's going, rest in peace, Jimmy. You got to wonder who these people are that are running this show and the agendas that they're following. And for me, to glorify or even to have that man on your mind in 2022 is a heinous thing. Jesus, I believe if it's cancer, it's allergy, says the doc. Well, you try and get an appointment with a doctor. No, I've got piles, doc. I've got piles. How many piles you got? I don't know. That's why I need to come and see you, don't I, Tarquin? Yes, well, you might do, but we're shut up shop now. Now, we'll do a Zoom link. Yes, we're going to do a Zoom link You bend over, pops it out, and I'll have a quick look through my monitor. Oh, I can see the problem. Yes, you can't see a doctor. Can't see one. Do you see how far this has gone, guys? Can you see? Do you see the problem? Do you see it? I hope you do. Myself, I don't like doctors. I don't like hospitals. I get why they're there. Lord knows. We just had a beautiful little boy down the road, blonde-haired kid. His mother's Swedish. We do a lot with them. Our horses are down there at the moment, and she grows loads of food. Lovely, lovely, lovely family. And their son got stung, I think, today or yesterday by a wasp and had anaphylactic shock and had to go to hospital because he was having fits and stuff. And then they sorted him out. So you know, we do have. Look, I'm not bashing the system. We got some fabulous nurses. We got some fabulous guys. We got some gorgeous people in this country. We really have. But their voices are not being heard. They're not having the value we should be placing in nurses, in people that care for people, is diminished. These people that run this gig should be the ones bolstering. These are the ones we should be placing all the energy into and saying, you make sure you're all right. Are you getting enough sleep? All these nurses running around ragged. Not these ones at the top crunching the numbers with their pens, you know. No, that's an upside down system. Your government should be people that are generally working class or have an interest in how to do infrastructure, how to build roads, how to run sectors in different departments. But you've got Champagne Charlies, you've got blokes in boiler suits years ago that have actually built this country, and you've got blokes and women now in Armani suits that are desperately stripping it apart. Why? Because they haven't got a Scooby-Doo. If you've got a Minister of Transport, they should have calluses on their hands. They should be running tarmac companies. They should have an interest and an inclination. If there was ever such a thing as a minister for bathrooms and plumbing and heating, I wouldn't mind taking that. But I know what I'm doing. I know how to run things. I can run one of my little jobs sweet as a nut, as clockwork. I walk in there, get the job done, I come out, everybody's happy. That's the kind of country I want to live in, with forward-thinking people, people that actually care for people. Where's the care from the doctor? Can't see you. Make an appointment online. We'll do a Zoom call. But I need a smear test, doc. Look at the size of this one. No, you're not coming here, mate. We're going to do a Zoom. So we're doing the doctor. We're going to do a Zoom call for a smear test. Can you? I just actually think that they've lost their minds. I don't think they're thinking straight. Now, I've always had my feet on the ground. I'm a working class boy, come from a working class family. My mum and dad, bless them, I've still got them. And I see my mum last week and love them to bits. I can't imagine living in a world without them, not being able to hear their voice. And you know, and I know that we all, at some point, we're going to cross over and go back to where we've come from. But I've always had my feet on the ground. And I've always had a compassion. I've always had a feeling of decency, and I get heartfelt when I hear that people that have had so much calamity from boys and girls in uniform, and the systems took their house, took their kids, took their cars. I'm just thinking, this is a decay. This is a system of decay. This isn't a great country. This isn't a bolstering country where we're all together and we're all as one and we're all doing all this fabulous stuff. And some people that want to get on a little bit greater than others are doing that. This is about, oh, you've been a naughty boy, we're going to take it away from you. You've got councillors now that the councils they've taken over the courts and the police guys. This is really dangerous. Really dangerous. See all the high street. Oh, the cop shop shut down. Why did it shut? It's an old Victorian building. It's so uneconomical. It was costing a fortune, right? We moved out. It's right in the council office. Fuck's sake, people. Do you see what's happened? The three pillars, the separation of powers have been removed, and you've got this communistic cock-sucking thing now. Where when they come and kick your front doors in to change your meters, they walk out laughing at you. When they take your kids, they walk off laughing. I've got an Italian couple that quite a few years ago, she had her baby by cesarean section. And there was guys with machine guns there. The police had machine guns. And as soon as that baby come out of her cesarean, that baby was off. And there was guys with gut. And I'm thinking, that's not an England I like. That's not an England I know. It's not an England that resembles an England. That's not a decent people. That's what the fuck? What's going on? A smear over Zoom sounds like an OnlyFans event. It must be. You try and get a doctor's appointment. Ring your doctor up. Hello, is that the doctor's? Our village. Oh, it kicks off around here. Village mentality. It's quite fun. I can't get and see the doctor. My warts are killing me. Well, you're not going to see a doctor. Why? Because they're waffing it now. They're like, oh, I'm up with the lap of the gods. I don't have to mix with you peasants no more. We've used this COVID-19 to our full advantage, you know. Yes, we have. We've decided we're going offline. We're not going to see you no more. But you can carry on paying your taxes. You can carry on believing that we care for you and that we're going to do our best for you. Sometimes you've got to put yourself under the radar. You've got to put yourself under fire. You know, a soldier gets paid to go on the front line and point his weapon at someone and shoot him, and hopefully he don't get shot in the process. It's the same with doctors. It's the same with anyone. If you're a drain cleaner, you get paid to go out and rod people's drains. You don't care whether you're going to end up, well, you do care, but you don't know whether you're going to end up falling down a manhole one day with your head stuck up the pipe, do you? You just don't know. But you go out and do it nonetheless because that's your life and that's how you do. And that's what I detest about this system. When you look around this country, if you take a satellite view of how all these things have shut down, the cop shops have shut down, how the DVLA buildings have all shut down, and it's all online now, and the peasants must do what they say. Guys, if you ain't working out that this is all becoming a communistic fucking dictate, I just don't know. I really don't know, because years ago you could go and have a conversation with people that work for government or whatever that is. I don't even know what government is. I've got to be honest, I don't even know what it is. Because if the government of this country, it says and it's established in law that they can't do anything to prejudice the people, why, oh fucking why, have we got a system that we've got? Why have we got them stealing our kids without due process of law? They want to take your kids, they should go for a jury trial. Social services should bring a claim against you in a Crown Court. A jury should sit and listen to the evidence placed from both sides, the mother and the father and the social services, and the jury of your peers should decide whether or not that child should be taken away. And if it's found that you've been battering that kid and the jury's, well, yeah, then that's it. That's the law, because that's what the people of this country are supposed to do. We're supposed to maintain the law through the people. It's the people that make the law. But we don't have that. We have computers making the law. We have this thing called government, which we don't know what it is, bringing all this shit out that we don't know nothing about. But yet we bend over every single day and we let them lube us up and we let them Roger us, Big Willie style, and we smile. And we don't, I pay that fine. Yes, I'm sorry my lorry was there at the time. How much is it? £1,000? Here's the £1,000. And the thing is, another thing that frustrates me is that people sit at home and they think that they can have some common reason with the system. They think that when the mayor of London sends them a ticket in the post, this Imran Khan, whatever his name is, Sadiq Khan, sends them a notice in the post, oh, you were supposed to pay £12.50 today, so now we're going to fine you £1,000. If you are naive enough to think that you're going to sit down and write a 6-page letter and these people are actually going to give a fuck about what you've put down, forget it. Them games are over. That's off the table. them ever taking your feelings and consideration into consideration, it's done. You've been fined. That's it. You pay it or you suffer the consequences. That's not law, guys. That's false. That's harassment. That's indecent. Remember how the disciples cried when they found themselves on a boat in rough water and Jesus scorned them for having no faith. Amen, brother. Respect the mother tongue. Abuse and misused the language, causing hurt, harm, and injury and loss to children, UK and elsewhere. Save our children. I couldn't agree with you anymore. That's why I can't shed no tears or empathy over the Queen. I can't. And as a young man, I wouldn't have said that because I didn't know then what I know now, and that's what time brings, and that's what education brings, and that's what wisdom brings. And when people come to you with stories of stuff that's gone on to them and their families, my goodness, if I ever wrote a book, it would probably drive you to suicide, because some of the conversations I've had and some of the stories that I've been compelled to witness, not compelled, I've witnessed them, from kids being abused at Hope de la Grange in Jersey, and speaking to survivors, not just hearing it secondhand, hearing it firsthand from survivors, from children that were abused by the people in the system, hearing it firsthand, hearing their voices on the phone, hearing their voices tremble when they bring back these stories into the forefronts of their minds and relive it. Whenever you think back during your childhood, you'll sit there and you might have a smile when you think about that time you sat on the beach with your dad and he bought you a 99 with 2 flakes, and you thought how it was running down your hand, he was licking it off your hand, and what a beautiful time. You're going to immerse yourself in that nostalgia and that. But when you have to relive a time in your life where you was pinned down, you had your pants pulled down, and you had some big slobbery bastard from the system insert their penis into you, that's tough. That's really got to be a really tough gig to deal with. And I generally, if that had happened to me, I don't know if I'd be strong enough to survive that and make adult life. I really don't. I don't know if I could have coped with that. I reckon if I probably would have had the opportunity and that had happened to me, a pair of scissors or a knife, I probably would have stabbed someone straight through the fucking throat. I've got to be honest. Because I won't have anyone violate my soul and my temple. I'll kill them. And that's just how it is. And I don't care who knows that either. I'm personally witnessed the Bluetooth connections coming from the GA Bibbler using BLE on the tool phone. Yeah, I know, Spearthrow, yeah. Well, I went to Bob White's house. Roberto White, the man himself, the legend, the White, Barry White, you know. He's really gorgeous. He's a lovely man. Went to his house a few months ago when these so-called bailiffs, well, they did turn up, and there was a guy there. What was his bloody name? I've got him on my phone. And he was going around with this scat, and I went, what are you doing? But of course, if you talk to your friends and family out there, and they're called, oh, you're crazy, you know, you're a conspiracy theorist. Yes, no, you are. Where's the tinfoil hat? I'm making one. Don't worry about that. I've got the big Napoleon one. Goes out the front, goes out the back. Well, it's about 4 foot long. Got no problem at all with wearing that. And I've got no problem with whatever anyone ever says about me. Oh, which is this, which is that. I couldn't give a fuck. I don't care what people think about me. But he was running around with his phone. I said, what are you doing? And he showed me. He said, I've got this Bluetooth scanner. He said, and when I go next to people, he said, I'm going around to see who's had the jibbly jabblies here. And I went, well, I ain't fucking had any. He went, well, no, nothing's coming up. And I went, what are you talking about? He went, come here with me. And we walked up alongside the next door neighbour, and he went down the wall, and he said, it's the Bluetooth device, the numbers in the. I'm like, and we've got people that have been to graveyards. My mate Billy Smith, where he lives in Yorkshire, up Dow and down Dingle, whatever they say. He's been to new fresh graves in the graveyard, and he's gone along, Bluetooth scanners going mental, gone to the old graves of the 1800s and all that, nothing at all. And you think, fucking hell, This is a bit sinister. MAC address. There you go. So you turn it slowly. Mankind's turning into a PC. Yes, a police council. That's what you're turning into. You're letting them chuck all this technology in here. Do you know what? I've got to be honest. There's more people out there that have said no, despite all of Boris Johnson on TV. You must have these things. There's credit. A lot of the population ain't had it. They've sinned through it. And maybe not sinned through it, but questioned it and just paused and gone, not sure about this. Not sure about this. I'm going to just see. And they've sat back and not been bullied. And trust me, if you've all got through the last 2 years of all this propaganda and the media and everyone saying, you know, you've got, and your family's screaming at you, calling you a fucking dickhead because you ain't bothered. If you've got through all that and you've stayed focused in your own mind and said, no, I'm going to, fair play to you. You're tough. You've got big balls. You really have. And the dichotomy is, when you look at this, is that most police in this country have had these things because they believe hardcore, you know, they've been so brainwashed that whatever the system says, they got to do it. And to their detriment in the next few years, when the triggers of these things are placed out there into the domain, whether that be through the food, whether that be through the aerosols in the sky, whether that be through the tap water, whether that be through any other jibber jabs that you go and get. Everyone queues up, don't they? The elder, they get up there, come and doc, give me the flu jab, I want 5 of them, slap them in. Fucking get vitamin C, man. What's the matter with you? Why are you putting the cart before the horse? Wait until you get a bit of an ailment and then try and deal with it naturally. And I've got news for everybody as well, you know. There's going to come a point in your life and my life and everybody else's life that you're going to catch something and you ain't going to beat it. And it's going to kill you. But at least you had a go. At least you I can't see all this running. I just think that everyone that have got these pull-up shirts now, they've got sleeves here, got little button, and up goes the sleeve, and they're having all this. There's going to come a point where you've got so much shit in your body, you ain't even going to know which way to fucking turn. You're going to turn into some sort of a zombie, I think. You certainly won't need any formaldehyde put into you when you do pass, that's for sure. Haven't they killed the Queen now with the VAX? Who knows, Craig? I don't know, darling. What we saying, Jesus Jones? Ready Player One film? We don't want to go there. No. There's a payload in the bat juice. The bat juice, I quite like that. That's quite cool. Which will be released after on 1618 gigahertz blast. Well, there you go. But I've not had none of that. And I've had, they're going to send the army out. The army are going to come and drag you out in the streets. Well, any army man that wants to come and drag me out in the street and give me a fucking jab, I'm telling you now, I'm going to either have your eyeballs in my palms or your balls in my fucking palms. When they find me dead because you've killed me, I'm going to either have eyeballs or fucking testicles in my hand because I'm going to rip them out your fucking body. How's about that? No one is going to force me to do anything against my will. If I want it, I'll have it. If it's up for the offer, then if I consider it to be a decent thing to do and I want to have it, I'll go and have it. But we've had the whole of the country smashed on the hysteria by the mainstream media. Oh, if you don't have it, you're selfish. What the fucking hell has it got to do with you? What has it got to do with you? What I put into my body, what I do with my own vessel, what has it got to do? How fucking far have you got your dick up your own arse that you consider that, oh, well, I've got a friend that's got a doctor, mate. Yes, that's it. Who gives a fuck? I don't care whether you've got NASA scientists that do. I don't care. Well, I've got a friend who's who cares? You know, oh, yes, so selfish. Well, maybe I am. Maybe I consider what I do with this vessel. And maybe it's my right to consider what I do with this vessel. What you do with yours is up to you. But I hope you look after it as best you can. But the whole country's come out. Oh, we're vilified. Boris has told us we've all got to have it and you ain't had it. So you're a dirty piece of shit. Well, we'll see who's last laughing, shall we? We'll see who's standing at the last fucking trumpet. We'll see when they put the triggers out, and they will put the triggers out there. You know it's coming, don't you, people? You know it's coming. So I'm glad I've got this ability to see things slightly differently and to not overly react and to just take me time and try and think things through. I've got, and maybe that's because I turned the media off years ago. Maybe that's because when the radio comes on, I listen to the tunes. I think I'll have a little dance to that one. But when the news comes on, I'm turn it off. I change my channel. I can't listen to the news on the radio. I can't watch the BBC or the ITV or none of that bullshit. I just can't watch. Even GB News gives me the ump. It just does. I want grassroots stories. I want stories from everyday people walking everyday lives. That's what I'm interested in. I'm not interested in this glossy bullshit England. The one that's got the magazine fronts on it with the birds with the big tits and the fake tans. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested. Yesterday on my Facebook profile, on my other one, this woman, I can't think what her name is, she popped up, so I accepted, and she sent me 2 pictures of her naked, saying, here's my email address, hit me up, and I block. So listen, guys, if any of you guys out there, if you see me, if you want to come, you want to jump on I'm not a prude by any means. I just don't want to see that. I don't want pictures of women sending me stuff where they're naked. I don't want it. It's disgusting. It's unbelievable. You should look at your messages sometime, Cunto. Hey, Carlos the Pureblood. Depends what profile you've texted them on to me. Women, we should... We're all attracted to the opposites. Of course we are. And some are even attracted to without being opposites. They're attracted to the same. I'm not here to judge people. It ain't my job. But goodness sake, have some. I've accepted your... And then all of a sudden you're sending messages of me and I've got your vag in my face. I'm like, what the I don't want that. Send it to me, Dave. Yeah, Mickey. I will do. This guy went to this woman, block. Can't be dealing with it. No good to me, mate. Jesus Christ. I can't go Facebook Maps because of the men that keep messaging me. Drives me mental. Victoria. Well, that's because you're gorgeous. You are quite pretty, actually, Victoria. What a lovely one. Thanks for tuning in, darling. It's lovely to see. It's always nice to see your smiley face pop up here. It really is. We've only got 6 minutes left, people. We have. So, listen, to recap. If any of you want information on the successors.ca website, the Settled Land Act and all this business we're doing now with the Attorney General, message me at my Proton account. I shall share that again. Actually, no, I can't. It's in the chat room. And just message me, email me at Proton, and I'll get the files over to you. You just change your bits, change a few bits in there, get it sent off. Recorded delivery, etc., whatever. Get it up there, and if they don't respond, then they're timed out. But you can always take it a little step further and lay a claim against them, I guess. Who knows? I don't know. All I know is that this so-called government that we're all supposed to vote for, we're all supposed to believe in, and it is just a belief system. All I know is that it has now shut up shop on all of yous. And it is this digital online bullshit system. And that's not a nice place to be. It's not a nice country to live in, because I'm pretty sure you're going to have robot judges at some point in the future where you go and sit in wherever and this robot goes, bah, 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 and it tells you what your crime is. And then you kick it and call it a cunt and you walk off. And then they send the special police round, the ones with the big dickheads. And they kick your doors in, smash you up, take you down cell. As far as I'm concerned, fuck that shit. I'm not down to live in this world like that. I don't know about you. I'm not here to be raped by energy companies. No, I'm not here to be raped by people in a court system. I'm not here to be prejudiced by the people that we placed our trust and faith into. Not a chance. Not a chance. Not on my fucking Nelly. Phone messages. You messaging me on the phone, darling? I can't. Where? What phone? What phone? Yeah, no, I ain't got no. I can't see any, Carlos. I don't know where you're sending them to, darling. Let's have a look. No, can't see you. What name are you down on your messages? It's still Carlos the Pure. I know who you are anyway. You're a gorgeous man. 7-day morning, 7-day celebrate. Look, you do what you want. You make up your own mind of what's just gone on with the public arena, the Queen passing. You if you love the Queen, God bless you. If you can't stand her, that's up to you. I'm in the middle. I don't have an opinion on. I just look at the evidence that's before me, and I think the country's a shithole. Our roads are shit. Our kids are being stolen by the state. The energy companies are taking the raw fucking piss. The police are beating the shit out of us. So am I going to celebrate that kind of a system? No, I'm really not. I'm not interested. Send me your number and banky details, Jesus Jones, and I'll message you. Oh, hello. He's like, oh, I see. Phone messages. Mate, I've not literally got no. I don't know if you're talking voicemails or you're talking text messages on my phone. If you're going to send me any sexy ones, make sure it's after 9 o'clock on a Friday. All right? As about that. We've got 2 minutes left, people. I want to say thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I only do these things because I care and because I want to see a different world. I want to see niceness. I want to see greatness. I want to see all of mankind come back to some semblance of love and common sense. That's it. I'm not out to set the world on fire. I'm not out to cause mayhem or cause any carnage or burn any building down. I'm not interested in that at all in any way, shape or fashion. I'm just interested in you all having nice lives. And that's just how it is. Jesus, I battled the same, but now more people thinking about the situation we're in there. It's great to hear them say good on you and Chanel, my daughter, for standing firm. Go on, Victoria. Big love to you, darling. What part of the country are you in, Victoria? Whereabouts are you, darling? Might come and pay you guys a visit one day. I do travel around the country a little bit now, not too far, in my little velomobile. God save the... yeah, I know, Kenneth. It's a tough one. I'm trying to remain Switzerland. I'm trying to remain neutral because some people idolise the royal family. I just never have. I never have, never will do, because to me it's worshipping false idols. and I don't like the system that they've manifested. Just simple. I can't stand the abuses, the tyranny, the tears, the anguish, the heartache. I just can't handle it. And it's not a country that I want to live in, to be honest with you. So, but if it was the other way, and if they were so great and this country was so wonderful and no one was going without anything, I'd be a little bit remorseful right now and saying, oh, you know, bad day and all that, but I'm not. So, guys and girls, right at 10:15, I'm going to disappear. I'll go to work tomorrow. I want to thank all of you for popping in, saying hello tonight. Thank you all so much, and God bless every single one of you. And, yeah, just think about the things we're saying. If you want these files, send me your emails on my Proton account. It's in the chat room. And I'll see you all next week, where hopefully Mikey will be back from Cornwall. Hopefully he ain't got that Cornish accent, my lovers. He might have, who knows. But I'll see you all next week. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Thanks to everyone in the Wake Up UK chat room. I haven't popped in tonight. It's quite, when you're on your own in this, you have to focus on what's going on. I should have popped in. I do apologise to anyone in there that I haven't said hello to tonight. You're all gorgeous. Stay blessed, stay loved. And we'll see you all next week. Take care now, people. Take care.